Hello everyone in cyber world. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Richard. Welcome back to our channel we call Poor Man's DIY. This week we're introducing our video from the Hawaiian Railway Museum. This week, we are here to mourn the death of our TV.
Let's have a moment of silence.
All right. Anyhow, we're still in a lockdown, and unfortunately, our TV recently, it has been going bad over previous months, and recently the screen, just over half of it, just went black. So trying to watch a TV show with only the bottom half of it isn't exactly the most entertaining thing to do. So we had to order a new one. Best Buy, we got this. We got this from Best Buy, and they were kind enough to deliver it, but they don't install things, which is great because we save money by doing it on our own anyways. And with the coronavirus procedures and social distancing, all they do is bring it to the garage door and take a picture. They don't even want to get close enough to sign the document, so they take a picture showing that they did deliver it to your garage. So anyhow, this is a video that we actually wanted to do when we first moved in, and the video quality just didn't work out well, and so I never did it, and this was just a perfect time. So what we're going to do here is, well, what we did, first of all, we took down the TV and patched up some holes and repainted the wall, so we have a fresh wall to start with. This is something we wanted to show a while back on how to mount your TV, and you could do this yourself. I know I won't say the exact dollar amounts, but the company that we bought from said that they would install it, and it was just a ridiculous amount, and so we can do this ourselves very easily, and we thought it would be something that we could show you to do. And you could save a lot of money. Obviously, if you buy a real big one, you need a couple people to be able to lift and hold it up and so forth. So, that being said, give you a little explanation of just a basic wall mount, TV wall mount, and how it works. So this one here does not tilt, doesn't move or anything else. It's just a standard, sorry, just a standard wall mount that's going to just lie flat up against the wall. Okay, now how exactly does this work?
Whoops.
How exactly does this work? You have a wall mount and you have a brace that's going to be put on the back of the TV. All right, now this might be something, hopefully you can see, the way this wall mount has is a little lip on the top and a lip on the bottom. Okay. Now, here, hold this for me. All right. And with the brace that gets put on the TV, there's a slot in here that will hook onto here, and then it will snap onto the bottom like such, and that holds it onto the wall. Okay, so it's just a matter of a little C-clamp that snaps onto this, and it just holds the TV, and this gets mounted on the TV. It's actually pretty simple. And in reality, it doesn't take very many tools to put this on the wall. Yes, I know, every week I do this. I touched my face yet again, but I wash my hands. There's no one else in here, so. So anyhow, you could, in theory, put this up with just a basic screwdriver. It may take a lot of effort and time. The idea though is what we want to do is we're going to find the studs in here, and if we can, we'll screw into the stud, and then that will hold it up and be able to carry a lot more weight. But in the event that you can't find the studs or they don't match up to where you're going to be putting the bracket, we're going to also use, oops, will that focus? We're going to use anchors. I bought anchors that I believe are 50-pound capability. So I'm going to put at least 2 of these on one side, and then the other side I'm going to find the mount I'm definitely going to put into the stud somewhere. So that in itself should be strong enough to hold. But then the other side, 2 of these at 50 pounds each, that would be more than enough to hold our TV up safely. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we're going to do this now.
So the first step is to find the studs in the wall. This is how we find them. Take the stud finder, and then we mark it. And now we're going to find the second stud.
Here I'm attaching a bracket to the TV using bolts and a spacer.
Now, we're going to have to do some measurements to figure out where the mounting bracket has to go on the wall. Take a look over here. Now that the bracket's up, you could measure from the top of this joint here all the way to the top of the screen, but then you also have to add in how much from the tip of this point to this hole where you're going to actually drill. This is a little bit too much trouble, so here's what I usually do. I actually put the mount and lock it into place. This is how it's going to be mounted on the wall. So now all I have to do is measure the distance from this hole here all the way to the top of the screen, and that will tell me exactly where I need to drill the holes on the wall. So it's at about 17 inches.
To begin, the height of our TV is going to be 71 inches.
And now, based on the measurements that we obtained from adding the bracket to the TV, we now know that the holes are going to be at 17.5 inches below the top of the TV. So from here on down, we're going to measure at 17.5, and from there, we'll level it out and we'll find the studs and we'll drill into those. All right. In my opinion, one of the most important things is to at least get 1 or 2 of the screws into a stud. The stud itself, if you can screw into it, is going to be much more secure than any other methods of holding it onto plaster. So I always like to find where I can use a stud. A lot of the kits for these wall mounts come with various types of screws. Oftentimes they come with bolts. And I prefer using these whenever I can, because these bolts, again, will go into the stud and hold tons of weight. So what we're going to do is try and find the stud. Ideally, it would be great if you could just put this up in the center of the wall and then hang the TV on it and everything would be wonderful. However, the center of the wall for us is over here, and unfortunately there is no stud that will fit that we can drill into. And we don't want to just use anchors to hold this up. We definitely want to use studs. So this is where we have studs, and the only thing that we can do and try and keep it as close to center as possible is to put the outside hole into the stud. We'll mark this, and then on this side we'll mark those and use anchors.
Then we mark where we will drill on both sides of the bracket.
And now we drill. Now we're going to bolt this, and just to start it, we'll take it out. Okay, next we're going to install some anchors into the wall because this is not a stud, it's just drywall. This actually allows to hold up to 50 pounds on the drywall. All right, to explain how this works, now that we have this anchor placed in there, you'll have a bolt that goes with it, and this screws into the anchor. And this actually spreads the weight and allows it to hold up to 50 pounds. If you put a regular screw into the drywall, it will just tear and cut through it. So this is a special anchor that you use to hold the weight when you can't use a stud. Okay, and now that we have holes pre-drilled and tested, it's time to mount this. Let's make sure that, oh, we're good. Unfortunately, when putting this into a stud, I don't have the right tools for power tools on this one, so it takes a little muscle to do this. Okay, now that we've got the top one in, it's just a matter of drilling a hole into the stud on the bottom and repeating. This is just a matter of pre-drilling to make this go in a little bit easier. That's not going anywhere. All right, now before we actually mount this onto the wall, here's a suggestion that I have. The coax cable, if you take a look on the back here, is actually on the back, and so once this is sitting against the wall, it's going to be very difficult to attach this. The HDMI cables are on the side, so even when this is mounted, you can reach from the side and plug them in. So what I do recommend is that you actually install this prior to hanging it up. Just a poor man tip. Yeah. As you could probably tell, this reflects right back into the camera. So you see our equipment. Sorry. All right, now that we have this mounted, the bracket itself is hooked on. However, it has the ability that you can actually slide this left and right now. Since it's already hooked on, it's not going to fall off, but because you can slide it, you can center it much easier. In our case, we need to move this a little bit this way. So just very gently push. All right. And there you have it.
We hope you enjoyed this video today to show you how we mounted our TV without having to pay someone else to do it.
Next week, I had something special in mind for a certain somebody, but apparently she had the same idea and she kept hounding me for it, so it kind of came across like it was her idea to start off with. I spent a little bit of extra time. I didn't want to put together something real simple and boring, so we'll get to show you what we did on that.
So be safe and stay healthy until we meet again.
Bye-bye.